now, and I'll go tweet it out.
Cool.
Right now,
Just make sure, like, if you have a thumbnail, just make sure the thumbnail's included too, and stuff like that, because images usually drive more attention on YouTube.
Oh, like
Twitter.
plop the image and the link into the tweet.
Yeah. Yep, basically. Cool, I got your notification too, so things are looking good.
Sweet. Hey, what's up, chat? How's it going? With Buzzard to talk about chapter 333.
Oh, we live?
Yeah, we're live.
Let's go. That's awesome. Yeah. What's up, chat?
Alright, I just got the tweet out.
Cool.
What's up, Etel? Oh, what's up, Bloom Bob? Thanks for coming in. Got some members in the chat. I've never seen 30 people click so fast. I mean, I have seen it faster. I think I streamed like right when it was like the Lucius reveal happened, and it was like so many more people in less time. Like it was like 70 people in like 30 seconds.
That's crazy. I put out like a what do you call it? Like a 2-minute video where I was literally just screaming into the microphone, like, "Oh my god, it's about I did it,"
Yeah.
And that thing got so many like views, like 1,000, 2,000 views or something. And I had like not been uploading for a long time too, so like, you know how that happens, right? If you're not uploading, like, the views drop like a bitch. So like, yeah, for that to like get so many views was crazy. So yeah. That was a crazy reveal, obviously.
That was so epic. Like, oh my god. It was so crazy. It was just so wild because it was just the chapters that have to do it. Everybody was like, oh, Disney, Clover, and all of that. And like,
yeah.
Okay, like at the time, a lot of people were calling that theory that Lucius or Julius was the fourth Sagradas a dumb theory, and it was stupid. And then now, but it's funny as all of a sudden now people are saying that it was so obvious and shit. I'm like, you can't do that now.
Oh no, that's okay. The thing, okay, see, this is where I'd like to bring in a little bit of nuance, because like I agree, like I was one of those people who were like, oh, that's so dumb, because I thought like the whole crux of the theory depended on Julius being the bad guy. Julius actually was evil all this time. You just didn't know, right? Which I completely like. It's still obviously that's not the case, right? Which is why I love this theory right now, right? But at the same time, like I do understand that like people are saying, oh, it was so obvious. Like, well, no, like if you believe that Julius is not like evil, then it's not obvious, because it was the most convoluted shit, right? Because like he was introduced as a super like possibly evil guy, but then you got the monologue, right? Which is what makes you like clears him of any doubt, right? Which is what makes him super awesome, as like the kind of character that he is. So it is definitely not obvious. Like you probably got some vibes from Julius, but like overall it's crazy, right? Like he definitely was not who you thought he was. It was a crazy reveal.
Yeah, I guess that's what a lot of people kind of took, because when I did like my theory like almost a year ago, is I said in the video that Julius isn't evil because of the monologue. Like either there has to be like something insanely wild, like Julius like knows that he's in a story, and so that's why he like did his inner monologue. I'm like, okay, no, that's way too crazy. So Julius like
so
what like I'm like, no matter what, like this theory, like Julius cannot be evil in it, like whatever is the reason why. But like a lot of people like they see like the thumbnail and they see people talking about it on Twitter, like, well, no, like Julius can't be. But yeah, like so that was like like that's a good like point to bring up, is that like it was never about Julius being evil. It was just like the connection there.
Yeah, like that's honestly one of the reasons why like your theory, whenever you made it, I wasn't like super against it, like super vocally against it. It's just that like the whole concept of, oh, what if he turned coats, what if he's the evil guy? I was just like super like how do I put it? Like I was over jaded about that theory because it's been made a lot of times, but it's not been made well, right? It's
Yeah.
always like, oh, you know, Julius is like it was always like a left a foul taste in my mouth. But it's Tabata, so the execution was immaculate, right? Like crazy. It's not just the reveal though. Like with 331, it's the way it was revealed. Like
Yeah.
the art, like the screen direction that Tabata had for that chapter. Oh my God,
Oh, I
it's
know.
crazy, so good.
It was nuts. First, I'm gonna take this first question from the chat before we get into talking about the
Sure.
chapter. This is from Jeff Jingles. Do you think there's gonna be
Hmm.
some Black Bulls killed off screen?
Off screen, definitely not. I mean,
Yeah,
come on,
yeah.
please.
I'll say if there's a Black Bull that's gonna die, it's gonna be on screen. That would be
Yeah, and
that would just
who do
be
you?
so
Okay, the
bad if
best question is
if
like
he
who,
did
right?
that. Huh?
Yeah, no, if it's not happening. Come on, let's
No,
not
yeah,
even
it's
entertain the
not
idea.
off
It's not
screen, not
happening.
off screen. No. Um,
Yeah, no, but like who though? Who do you think is like prime candidate to be killed? Because personally, Magna, I love
yeah,
Magna, but that's why like it would hurt so much.
I would
Like if
say
Magna
yeah.
died, like you know, Tabata can really milk the emotions out of that.
I'd
But
say
yeah,
Magna, yeah, because like Luck right now is a very like he's still like a top tier fighter, so that would be huge motivation for him. But also the other Black Bulls, and
yeah,
I think that Yami
yeah,
like honestly very well could, especially with like
yeah.
him possibly having a devil
Yami
heart
could
or
die, you're
something like
saying?
that. Yeah, I think he could.
Interesting. Right. Oh, you know, like that is something that I'm still like super like questioning about if that's the right word. Because like Yami, it's been a year, right? It's been a
Hmm.
year, and I feel like what if that like black mass? What if that was not a heart? What if like that was just a black mass accumulated at his heart, which was basically the magic from the Cliff which maybe he used up during the fight with
That could
Lucifero.
be.
I would hate that, by the way. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you know, it's a what if, right? Like, because right now it's been a year, right? And for them to have not even addressed it is like kind of weird for me,
yeah.
um, right? But I'm not sure.
Especially
Yeah.
with like how his dark magic looks like identical to Lucifugeus's at points. Like I
Yeah.
remember when Yami was like
Yeah.
first using his dark magic against Patri in the cave, like if you compare like how the dark magic like the design of it looks to Lucifugeus's, it looks pretty similar. But
Yeah, so just a cool thing that I wanted to talk about, like anecdote. Like so I don't know if you know Viridian, so he's like on Twitter a while ago. But yeah, so like we talk about these characters and stuff. So one of the points that I brought up with regards to like Noct and Yami, that relationship is how like when he says he hates Yami, in a way actually does, right? It's not just because like, oh, you remind me of my old self. The theory was that, oh, what if Lucifuges had dark magic and he killed Morgan, so he can't bear to look at Yami who also has the same dark magic,
yeah,
right? Which is also one of the reasons why he like hated Yami, but not hate Yami, just like hated Yami, right? He couldn't stand the thought of somebody with the same type of magic being there. So that was a like I mean, unfortunately Tabata didn't super dive into that, but like if he I feel like that
yeah.
would have been a great way to take that.
I think I totally agree with
Yeah.
that. Definitely. Um, yeah, like I still want to be like that. Yami like becomes a devil, or like Lucifugeus like takes over his body, and then like
Hmm.
or something like that. But and then Black Bull's off to fight him. That would be super dope. But
That would be amazing. I
like
absolutely agree. Yeah.
even
But
though Lucifugeus doesn't really have bull horns, imagine if like Yami became a devil and got like bull horns. That would he'd be like
yeah,
the Black Bull.
absolutely.
Would be
Would be
so
amazing.
nuts. But
Yeah. Yo, oh my God.
yeah,
Can you imagine? Like what if Yami is able to overcome that possession? And what if
that'd
he's
be
like able to
sick.
use it like proper? He's like Yami Sukehiro, the Black Bull, right?
Oh,
You know,
that'd be
like that's his
dope.
epithet. Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Oh
would be so
god.
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what if that's the chapter name, the Black Bull?
Ooh,
And
yeah.
then, like Yami overcomes that. Oh God, so fire.
That would be
Yeah.
dope.
But no, like going back to the previous discussion about who dies, like I said, Magna would be ideal for me because not only is he obviously the luck connection is there, but you also have like he was Asta's mentor basically when Asta joined the Black Bulls. And not only that, he was the one who like oversaw their first mission, Noel and Asta, right? It's not just Asta. So you have that connection over there too. And you have Vanessa and Magna, they have that connection too because like, when Magna was training before Elf Luck fight, she was
Hmm.
like helping him out too. So And of course, like you said, oh, sorry, you didn't say this, but like Yami, right? Yami and Magna, they have a very solid connection, right? Like
Oh yeah.
master disciple or like something like that because of his fierce loyalty to Yami. So like like if somebody were to die, Magna dying would ruin the Black Bulls.
Oh, for
At
sure.
least like the most important characters from the Black Bulls. So yeah, he would be a great choice to kill.
Well, yeah, like Magna was like Asta's first mission essentially, with like going to Heath and stuff, and so
Yeah,
he's definitely an
yeah,
important character. It would be like very sad to see him die, and I just wonder how if
definitely.
he does die, how like would it be Lucius or would it be like a different devil or I don't know. Which
I
I mean,
mean,
this chapter,
Lucius killing him would be the blow, I
yeah,
think.
you think so?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it has to be personal, right?
yeah. Ooh, yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the Wizard King, which Asta looks up to, killing Magna would be nuts.
Yeah. This would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to talk about the chapter then?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Let me know wherever you want to start. Yeah.
I guess we could just start with like the first page because that's where like one of the major like translation
Right.
differences is. Like, which if you guys don't know, chat Buzzard is a part of the team that does the fanlations. So if you guys have
Yep.
questions about that process, you can definitely ask him. Because I really like the TCB scans. They're so much better than the fan translations we got when like I was first getting into the Black Clover community. Like,
Right.
so yeah, I definitely like them.
Oh, I just want to say I'm not a translator. I'm only the editor.
Yeah,
So like I won't know the nuances. I can just like tell you like the things that we went over as we were working on the script itself. So yeah. So regarding like let me actually jump into this, right? Because like this is not something that we're going to get an answer to right now, but I will tell you my opinion on this. First page, right? We bound a supreme devil Astaroth of time magic to ourselves. But then in the scanlations, we said, following Astaroth, the supreme devil of time magic shall give me the answer to my questions. So obviously, big difference, right? The officials make it seem like Lucius and them bitched Astaroth and basically like subjugated him and bound him to themselves, right? But then in the scanlations, what we said was following Astaroth, right? So there obviously is a big
yeah.
difference, but I do usually I would lean towards the officials when like they have a translation that is different, but this time I would go ahead and say that I lean towards TCB because this particular translation was done by Brood, right? But then you also have Knight Baron's translation from when the leaks dropped, and that too was kind of similar to following Astaroth, stuff like that. It was not bound we bound Astaroth to us, right? So since two different people had a similar type of translation, I would go with what we did on TCB. For now, obviously,
Yeah.
like Brood said he figured it out, but unfortunately he had to go to work, so like he couldn't give me a concrete
Yeah.
answer. But yeah, he said he figured out what the difference was. So like whenever he's done with his shift, he probably is gonna give us the answer. It probably is like more about interpretation as well because
Oh yeah.
later on in the chapter two, like we have an interpretation thing. But yeah.
Yeah, and I do want to say that like
But
even though it's like
oh my god.
technically an unofficial
Yeah, go ahead,
translation,
go ahead.
you guys still get things like more correct at point than Viz. Like I believe one of the things that well, at least one of the more recent ones is that in TCB they said that Yami and Noct did monozone full release, and then Viz called it monozone
Hmm.
full power, which is what they've never like called it before in the manga and
Right.
any of the other translations,
Yeah.
like full release. So yeah, that's like
Hmm.
one thing I would say is that just because it's a fan translation doesn't mean that it's not going to be like fairly accurate. Especially if any of you in the chat were here in the early days when some of the translations were like god awful, like
Yeah.
to the
Oh
point
man, I
where
remember
like
those.
you would read it and then it in reality would be the
Hmm.
exact opposite of what it is. Like I think there was one of the ones is
Right.
something that like, it was like with Zagred, and
Uh-huh.
it was like if I can't remember what it was, but whatever he said was the exact opposite. Like that's how like bad like a lot of the
Hmm.
earlier translations were. But
I
depending
think
on
the
what you
reason
type.
for that is based. Right. I think the reason for that, like why we found like super god awful translations earlier, is because it was a device, like a device translation of a Korean translation of the
Oh,
Japanese original dialogue,
yeah,
right? So it like first off, it obviously goes through like people who translate it to Korean, but then again, there are like words that indicate certain things if read, like as a human, but like if a device would read it like super differently, right? The same word, like interpret it differently at the very least, right? So
yeah,
that translating it back to English, obviously you're gonna have a lot of mistakes, and clearly the people who were doing the English translations early on, they were not native English speakers, or like at the very least, their English proficiency was not the greatest. So you had a lot of grammatical, not only grammatical errors, but like just overall errors. But yeah, thankfully TCB decided to pick it up, and yeah, the rest of us joined the team. It's
yeah.
pretty cool now. It's really fun actually. Yeah, the process.
Very cool. What were some of the other
Yeah.
translations that are kind of like being talked about on Twitter? Like of the comparison from this chapter of the TCB versus Viz.
Okay, let's get into the right. Yeah, let's get into actually I made a listing actually of
Okay.
the three things. So the next one I think we can discuss is like the other one that I actually was talking to you about with the siblings coming back or whatever. So in
Oh
TCB,
yeah, yeah,
we yeah, yeah. So Lucius says, I'm going to fix all of mankind. After I've destroyed them, they will be reborn through the magic of my siblings. But then in the Viz translation, what he says is, after we've destroyed them, wait, we'll repair all
yeah,
humans. My siblings and I will destroy them, then use our magic to recreate them. So basically, this is. There's no like I wouldn't say one is correct, the other one is not correct. We went for the more conservative translation, basically, right? But the thing is, um, Viz says, sorry, the original Japanese says, "Watashi tachi kyodai no maho," right, which is us siblings apostrophe magic, right? So that's basically what it says. So it does say maho, right, which is magic, which Viz uses too. It says, "My siblings and I will destroy them, then use our magic to recreate them." But the thing is, Viz really just went out and said, "My siblings and I will destroy them," as in will, as in future tense,
mm,
right? So making it seem as if they will be back. But the thing is, all it says is like watashi tachi kyodai no maho, right? Which is our siblings apostrophe magic. Again, it's completely up to interpretation, but we want it to be a lot more conservative because, like, like even
yeah.
if the siblings don't come back, obviously he's planning on using the magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they do come back, our translation isn't inaccurate, right? It's just
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
like super direct. So that's why we went for that.
Yeah, that
But
makes sense.
again, at the end of the day, it's all interpretation because yeah, translation is like so much about interpretation. It's not like a direct translation. You'll never get that because
Oh
not
yeah.
only do you have a first you have to translate it, and then you have to like completely rephrase it in English to make it sound more natural, which is where I
Yeah.
come in, by the way. Like that's what I do.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I have a sentence and then I rephrase it. Yeah, but yeah, like if you see any cool lines, that's probably me. Like for
Oh,
example,
okay. Okay.
when Lucius says as the final Wizard King, it was initially translated to as the last Wizard King. I was like, no, let's add some
Yeah.
oomph to it. Let's make it the
Yeah.
final Wizard
Yeah.
King.
That
Let's make
sounds
it
a lot
dramatic
better.
as shit. But yeah, glad. Yeah, and thankfully Viz went with the final two, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like
But yeah,
the less
and
related
the
the
other one.
languages are, the harder it is to translate. Like, if you go from like German to English, you can still have issues, but like going from Japanese to English is gonna be a lot harder in most cases.
Yeah. Yeah, because like the language origin is completely different, right? German has a little bit of English. Oh, like sorry, English has a little bit of German in it, right? Like
Yeah.
the source at least.
Yeah. English and German are like sister
Yeah, this is
languages.
East. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and but yeah, Japanese is like super. Yeah. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is this one I actually like. Thankfully that Viz did this because to me when I was like working on the chapter, this was like just a super odd throwaway line. I was like, what is like why does
Mm-hmm.
he say this? Right? It's not a conversation. Like it feels weird. But then in Viz they actually make it like a proper sentence, which makes a lot more sense. And this is when Asta says, the spell is huge, and then Lucius says it's because I've absorbed Lucifero, right? But
Oh
then
yeah. Yeah.
we just said we've taken in Lucifero, right? But yeah, but they make it clear that this increase in magical ability is due to Lucifero. But I thought when I was initially working on it that he was just responding to Asta saying, "Oh, this key is different," which is again
Oh
weird.
yeah.
Like like Asta doesn't say it out loud, right? So yeah, I thought it was weird, but thankfully, Viz make made that clear. But that is the interesting part. So we now have a proper reasoning other than, oh, I wanted gravity magic, right? So like we have a proper reasoning as to why Lucius wanted this. Now, from what we understand, Lucius thinks that humans are way more proficient at using magic, but power wise,
That makes sense.
obviously the devils are crazy. So yeah, so like just eating the heart, or like eating Lucifero's both hearts, right? Ultimately resulted in like a higher mana like magic reserve that allows him to increase his output, but like by I'm guessing like 200 times or whatever,
Well, yeah,
based on the
yeah.
size difference between Lucius and Julius, right? Like all the what do you call them? The power scalers. They're
Oh
probably
yeah.
on that. Like, oh, it's actually 487.3% bigger. Um, right. But no, like I really like that Viz clarified this because that gives another dimension to it, for us to understand where exactly Lucius would have stood before the time skip. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely crazy that Lucius is out here with like already being stronger than 100% Lucifer. All of his magic power.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's crazy, dude.
Definitely crazy. And that like this is like I guess both like narrative or scaling. Like, did Lucius did that time stop spell? Did he try and stop Asta, or did it just not work on
Did
Asta?
he stop? Okay.
Because like
So from what I understood, right?
I'm yeah, like just
Oh yeah,
reading
go
it,
ahead,
like
go
you
ahead.
see
Finish up.
like
Yeah.
he expands like the time orb around the building. The birds are frozen. Everybody else is frozen. He's walking towards Asta. He's just about to touch Asta in the
Mm-hmm.
forehead, and then Asta just goes black form,
Mm-hmm.
like this brand new black
Mm-hmm.
form that we've never seen before. And then Lucius
Yeah.
just dips away, and he's like, "So this is
Yeah.
anti magic, the
Yeah.
power that flies in the face of natural law." And then Asta's like, "Time
Mm-hmm.
stopped for everybody but us." But like, it almost seems
Mm-hmm.
like time stopped for him before he was in black form because Lucius got so close and was about to touch his forehead. I don't know though, because
It
like,
100%. I think personally, I think it did, but there are arguments against this. Like
yeah,
one, I would say the reason why I think it did is because before the spell activates, you can see Liba, right? And then there's like speed marks, which seem to indicate that Liba is realizing what is happening.
oh yeah, yeah,
Meaning he probably activated Black Form right then, but like because of time stop. But it's since again it's anti magic, right? Right. So it's like
mm-hmm.
negating it, and it's like it's just taking time because it has to like deplete it little by little, and then he goes full Black Form right before it happens. But the argument against it, I would say, is if you look at Mimosa, Sister Lily, Noelle, they're all like super grayed out, but like Asta's headband and like robe are very clearly like black, very
Yeah,
black,
yeah.
right? But like,
That was one of the points I was
so
gonna
yeah.
use that he might have been like not actually affected by it. Is
Mhm.
that like
But
he's
at
like
the same time,
normal,
like
but
yeah,
but
like, but I feel like he should have just like if he could move anyway, like why would he immediately go into black form, and like why would he like take that moment to be like time stop for everybody but us? Because like he like it
yeah.
could like if he wasn't stopped, he could have just like moved back like and said, Julius, what are you doing, right? And then he could have looked around and said, wait, what? Why is everybody stopped? But yeah, it does feel like he was stopped for a second there.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to see, but I don't know if you could definitely say
Yeah,
either way
definitely
at
hard
this
to see for
point.
sure.
Like, cause this is like a
Yeah,
really
but
like
that's what I said, right? Like,
yeah, this would be like a very important thing for
yeah,
like power scaling for like if you want to do like a Black
yeah,
Clover
I
against
guess, yeah.
other verses, because like if you can
Mm-hmm.
move and stop time, that means that you're like depending on I guess your interpretation of scaling, you're either like infinite speed or inaccessible speed, which is like nuts if you're trying to like make like Asta fight a different character. So like that's why a lot of people are like really like heavily trying to figure this out. But it really just seems to
Mm-hmm.
me that, like either he was paused, or he just wasn't stopped by the time because of his anti magic. Which, if he's
Yeah,
using his own power to like negate the time spell, it wouldn't even give him like that level of crazy speed. But
yeah, yeah, yeah. But what is like super interesting is that Asta is able to negate the spell only for himself,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like he's able to like. So what exactly is the area of effect of pure black mode? Is it just on his body, right? That's interesting because like his grimoire is out in the open, right? It's moving on, right? It's moving into
Mm-hmm.
space. So like, why is that like? How exactly is it applied? You know, again, this
Exactly.
is all
Yeah.
like. This is probably like the last thing on Tabata's mind,
I
right?
know,
Like, why would he
right?
think about like, whoa, would the grimoire pages actually move, right? No, but it's. I mean, as fans, it is super intriguing to think about,
Yeah.
right? But yeah. But I'm like, even if that is like inconsistent moving on, like I'm expecting it to be inconsistent moving on
Oh
because
yeah.
again, like it's such a small thing. It's only a thing when you actually want to compare, like you said, right? Like the versus battles against other series or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring up the
Cool. So those are the translation differences
yeah.
right now.
I'm gonna bring up Asta's new black form and then put it on the screen so people can see it because it is kind of easy to miss that this is like a what the hell is going on?
Different form, right? Yeah, there's like two wings and stuff.
I'll
Yeah.
be back in 1 second. It sounds like somebody's in my living room, even though I'm supposed to
Sure.
be the only one here right now.
Okay, damn, that's creepy. All right. All right. So while Broku is gone, how are y'all doing? How long is the discussion? I think I can stay about for another 45. Um, I might be able to do an hour, but I'm not sure. Let's see. It depends on how sleepy I get. But
All right,
yeah.
sounds like we're good.
Um, so
I think this the
okay, great,
upstairs
great.
people are moving or something because I was like, shit, am I about to surpass my limits in my own apartment?
Right. Yeah.
um,
Thankfully nobody's there. That's good. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah. So
Cool.
for
But
people
oh
in
my God,
chat, this
let's
black
talk
form,
about the yeah,
like
yeah. Finish this up. Yeah.
like this black form, because this is not Union. Like when he first like uses his black form against Lucius, he has two wings, four horns,
Yeah.
like multiple streaks on
Hmm.
his. So like Asta in the last 15 months has found like a new level of black form, which is interesting. I didn't think we'd get developments of like the typical black form after like Union was
Yeah.
introduced. Like, what do you think about this like
Hmm.
weird version of black form?
I think I really like it.
Yeah,
Um, because again, like in this black form, Liba is still there, right? So like this gives him proficiency against like 90% of probably like every single like foe that he would probably face, right? And it makes sense because like what was black form about? Right, it was just basically allowing the anti-magic to flow through your body, right? So now since he's able to direct the flow properly, right, he's had a lot of experience with it, so I'm guessing he just like is able to put it through every single part of his body, during the full black form, which allows like the rest of the weg to activate, I'm guessing, right?
yeah,
While he's in his black form, plus the other wing. Also, just as a design, I think it looks so
yeah. It
cool.
looks dope.
If like
Yeah,
literally before this chapter, I was like, yo, what if Asta, just normal Asta, like grew wings and just horns? That would be badass.
that would be
And then
yeah,
boom, we get
yeah.
that here. I was like, yeah, this is so cool. Yeah, and it's very clearly not Union because
Oh yeah.
he undoes his like arm band
Mm-hmm.
later on in the chapter, like in the final spread, and then like the armor or like the black complete Union arm comes out, so that's very apparently different.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, like when he's in Union form, I think like both of his arms are black, whereas here, as you can see on the screen, it's only like one arm that's black, the other arm is still like normal Asta
Yeah.
hand. So yeah.
Gourmet Sand Eater,
Yeah,
probably just
but
an
yeah,
art
very cool
error.
design.
If you're talking about this new black form, I'd heavily say that's not likely at all. Just because we see in other panels where it also
No, they're
has
talking about
two wings.
Kiwi Havoc's message where they say
Oh,
different type of marking on the forehead. We'll get to that. Yeah,
okay.
I wanted to talk about that for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What do you think? I have one thought, right? It's very uninteresting. It was just a like a bar for like Lucius's magic to come back. So maybe he just used his magic to get
Oh,
over
you mean
here.
like him
So it was
having
just like
his
loading back up. Like,
having
like
his full mark back? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised
yeah, yeah.
if that's what it is.
Because like yeah. Yeah, when the leaks dropped, I was like, oh, it's probably like, we're not seeing the initial face but then like the first time you see the phase two, it's fully grown back, right? So I
Yeah.
mean, maybe we just missed it, and maybe like once he uses this, he uses an even bigger spell to bother like again depletes it, and then we see it growing back. Then we know it's not art error, but I doubt it's an art
I
error,
don't think
dude. Like the
so.
last
Yeah.
chapter, if that, yeah, it's like very deliberate.
I would see it as like
So
if it was
yeah,
an art error that, like in the first case of showing, was there three missing Ray or little
yes, three,
things?
yeah, yeah.
If there was like one missing, then maybe it could have seemed that was an error. But have three of them missing, that's like a pretty
Yeah.
big amount to like miss out on.
Yeah. Plus, dude, I mean, 3 month hiatus, right? Like, it's not like, oh, they're not scrambling at the last minute to complete this symbol. No, like, they had the chapter done a while ago.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and they would have noticed the error. So, personally,
Exactly.
I mean, again, I don't want to rule it out, but personally, I just don't think that it's an error.
Yeah. Oh, $2 super chat from Matt. I'm at the furnace of hell watching a baseball game. Well, make sure you're drinking your
Let's
water.
go. Super chat.
Yeah, I think
Right,
he said it
right.
was like 103 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oof. Okay.
Um,
I mean, I'm on Celsius, so I don't know
yeah, which it's
how
about
that
to be
converts
102
actually,
degrees
but
for
I'm guessing
me
it's hot.
here. I don't know Celsius because America and all,
Right.
but
Right, right.
but yeah, it's hot. It's hot, very hot. It was actually so hot here the other day that our like government had to send out like heat warnings, set
Whoa.
up like shelters for people that didn't have air conditioning to stay the night in and stuff. It was like 109 degrees Fahrenheit, which
Oof.
let me see how
It's
much
probably like
that
a
is.
cold winter night here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I mean, let me see though. Oh, 42? Yo, that's bad. Yeah, that's pretty hot.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
yeah,
pretty hot.
yeah.
That's like one of our, regular or like slightly warm summer days for
Oh
sure.
god.
I
You
mean, I'm exaggerating. That's probably like one of our hottest days, but like, yeah,
okay?
it's still like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it
super
feels
hot.
super hot. Yeah.
Damn. Um, I guess one more thing I want to talk about was like so we talked about like him using like Union at the end. This is still like a different
hmm
design for Devil Union.
Yeah, there's no armor for
Yeah, I was
sure.
gonna say like
Yeah.
is this like a different variation or do you think it's like a lesser variation like maybe like a semi Union because like he doesn't have like you said the armor.
Yeah.
While this isn't an inconsistent thing that Tabata does like a lot, there isn't like the cross in his eyes because like there's been many times where he's drew Union without it, even though like it's supposed to
Yes.
have it. He doesn't have
hmm
the crown on his head, and even like on
Yeah.
his chest, like usually it's grayed out because it's like a red star, but it's
Yeah.
like white, the same color as his shirt. So it's like this is clearly like it seems like a lot less anti magic power than like even the regular Devil Union.
Yeah. Which is insane to me. Why the fuck would you not go complete union?
Yeah,
Like this
that's
guy's about to destroy you,
yeah. Like
right?
I don't get it.
Uh,
Yeah, why is he not just going all out?
maybe I think it's maybe the same mistake that Julius made against Patri. I think he's holding back because he doesn't want to harm Julius's body, and he
Oh
knows that if
yeah,
he goes through Devil Union, 100%, like if he attacks him, Julius's body is destroyed, right? Because like right now, he's like, you're probably just some guy who's hijacked the Wizard King's body, and I'm gonna save him. But like, how am I gonna save him if I cut him up? So I think that's what's going on here. But yeah.
yeah.
Also, like a really cool detail, like what sword is he holding out right now? Not this, not the katana, the other one.
The slasher and the destroyer he's holding in Union in the end, I think.
Right, right, right. Yeah, and you can see that like the armor, like ask right, like you can see his hand, you can see like sort of scaly
Oh
stuff
yeah,
going on the forearm. Like, and if you go back to the Lilith Nama fight when he used that sword, it was like very similar to that too. So like Tabata is being very consistent. It's just like we don't know how what the ins and outs are for how anti magic works right now.
yeah. Which like this is another crazy thing for like power scaling, because like we know that like Lucius
Oh yeah.
is like way stronger than Lucifero because he absorbed his power. And
Uh-huh.
Asta's like already negating his spells without even using his even a regular Devil Union, whereas he needed True Devil Union to
Yeah,
like
but
beat Lucifero.
I don't think Lucius is more powerful than Lucifero right now. I
You
think
don't
he's
think
just like
so?
more powerful than Julius because, yeah, I don't think he's using his like he's using the devil magic, but I don't think he's going up in percentages. It's like Dante base when he was still using gravity. I think he's just using that right now, like with the
Yeah.
time.
Well, I almost think that he doesn't
Yeah,
like,
like I.
at least for Lucifero's power, it's different, like because he ate his heart. Um,
Mhm.
so he might not even we might not even see like devil characteristics for it. Um,
I personally think we will. I mean, it's Tabata. It's battle shown in Tabata, right? So like, I definitely think we're gonna see like forms and like horns coming out for Lucius. But you know what? But at the same time, I do agree because like his whole thing is like, oh, we humans are better than you. So like, if he
yeah,
turns into a demon, like a devil, right? It's like kind of, yeah. But I mean, he still could. He
and
still
like
could.
yeah,
Let's not say that. Like, let's not say that it would be odd. But yeah.
yeah. And I guess like also the reason why I think that he's
But okay.
possibly way stronger is I think it was the last chapter where yeah, it was like the first page of the last chapter where he's like not shown to be using any devil power, and he just has Lucifero trapped and like
True.
seemingly just pretty much just
True. I
bodies
forgot
him.
about that. Yeah.
So that's
True.
why
True.
I
True.
think that if he uses Devil Union, I think we disagreed on Twitter DMs that like I think he'll
Oh
have
yeah.
Devil Union and it will be like with Astaroth. And like
All
I
right.
guess I think that he is over Astaroth, like how Noct is over Emodello and the other devils, which
Right. I I mean, okay, so this is what I'll say. So I personally do think that there's some level of subjugation going on, right? Again, I'm not saying for sure, but I'm not saying that it's like I'm in the middle with regards to subjugation. It does sound like that. But the thing is, historically, what we've seen from the Zagratis is that it's not the same as a devil binding ritual. I don't think that
yeah,
like they've done devil binding rituals in the same way that the Faust family has. I think the deals that they make, right, the contracts that they have with their devils are very similar to how Asta obtained his arm, right, with like Liba saying, hey, like I'll give you my arm, so give me your power. So similarly, I feel like Zenon probably sold his soul, and Dante sold something else, and Vonica maybe sold her emotions or like her eye, right? That's where Magicula lives, so maybe she gave up her eye. So similarly, I feel like what like if okay, let's say it was subjugation. What if Lucius gave his like crippled body in exchange for like powers and
mm-hmm.
he had Dante and his sibling make him this current body that he's in right now, something like that. But yeah, like ultimately my point is that I've been wanting to like discuss this and like make a video about it by myself actually, but like I like there are like big nuances to devil contracts in Black Clover, and
Yeah,
I think there are like various types and like
oh yeah,
positives and negatives associated with each type because most importantly, with Dante, you see this sign right on his forehead.
mm-hmm.
Like same thing with Xenon and same thing with Vonica, right? But then with Noct, you don't get any of that, right? He's
Yeah,
contracted to four devils. So is it purely just like a high-ranking devil thing? I don't think so because I mean it doesn't make sense for it to be, right? Just specifically unique to them, especially because it doesn't appear that like either one is overpowering the other with the triad. Like they're not overpowering their devils, right? They just have some type of contract with them. So yeah, similarly, I think Lucius would also. I think Lucius wants to like probably subverted everything, where like he either, like I said, like sold his crippling body to Astaroth, which is I think one way where he like cucked him basically.
mm.
The other thing I think is since Lucius like went for Lucifero's heart, right? Instead of like contracting with him like Dante did, I think Lucius did not want to give up anything, which is why he probably found the way of eating the heart,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I think it definitely isn't like it could be either way. Like I think it could be like I think it's likely it's gonna be that, but I think it very well could be like what you say as well because like we just like don't
Hmm.
really know yet. That's one of the things I really hope we find out. Like not
Right.
necessarily the next chapter, but the next few chapters we'll get a little bit more into like what
Yeah.
Lucius has been, especially what he's been doing in the last 15 months, but also just like in the beginning of like
Hmm.
what happened in the beginning to like start all of this.
Right. Yeah. The
Because
Zogratis flashback, right? Yeah, I
yeah,
can't wait for it.
because
Like,
were
we
you?
have three chapters.
There you go.
Yeah, go ahead.
There you go.
Where I was that?
You go. You're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so basically three cha- there's basically three chapters left in this volume. So we're on 333 and the volume would end on 336.
Ooh.
So I'm thinking we get the next chapter full fight, and then I mean, I hope that Tabata doesn't do this, but it's very possible that we might go into the Zogratis flashback for the next two, and then 336 ends with the fight ending with, Asta probably killed or some crazy
Oh
shit like
yeah.
that to end the volume, because, that would be the volume ending chapter, right? But yeah, that's like right now, I think it's okay. The reason why I said that I hope it doesn't happen is because I want a big fucking meaty ass backstory for Lucius, right? I
Yeah.
want like an entire volume worth of backstory, right? Because like not it was 3 chapters, but I still felt like it was short. I feel like you could
Yeah.
have done so much with that,
I
with his
agree.
flashback. And the elves, forget about it. We got like so little from the elves, right? But like with Lucius, he's the villain. He's the final villain. I want a lot more, but it does feel like Tabata could wrap up his like entire backstory or like history in a chapter or two, right? It's very possible that
Oh
he
yeah.
could go through that because like Tabata is the kind of guy who doesn't focus on anything other than what is super required for the story immediately, right? So like for example, right, like the Saint stage, he didn't want to show us the 3 days of training because like, oh yeah, whenever
Mm.
like they actually fight, I can just give that explainer and I can give exactly what is required and then move on, right?
Yeah.
And that's what he did for Noel. So yeah, I mean, so I'm very scared, but I think it's a likely possibility that we just see like, like a 1 or 2 chapter flashback for Lucius in the next coming chapters. I mean, it's still gonna be amazing,
Oh yeah.
but I'm just saying, like, I want more.
Well,
I'm a
maybe
greedy
the
bitch.
fight will just end
Yeah.
the volume, and then the next volume will be just an entire Lucius backstory, or Zigratis backstory volume. I think that'd be dope.
The thing is, I would agree with you, but I don't think this fight is meant to be long. I
Yeah,
think it's
I don't think
supposed
it will
it's
be
I
that
think
long, but
because I mean, True Devil Union Master, right? Like he could clap Lucius. I mean, assuming we understand how things work with anti-magic, he could clap
mm,
Lucius. Or if it's the other way where like Lucius is like super uber powerful, then yeah, he should be able to clap. Either way, like because this is where the arc is beginning, right? Like so you need like a complete establishment of the power. So of the hierarchy, right? So like you like give Lucius like the big feat because this is supposed to be the Patri moment, where Patri kills
yeah,
Julius, where like you get to see both of them go all out, and then the arc starts. So similarly, this is supposed to be like that, from in my opinion. So I think it has to end relatively quickly, and I think 1 or 2 chapters, like again, we have 3 chapters left, so I don't know if like entire 15 pages are like completely going to be fights, right? Because if you think about it, Asa's undone the spell, so like everybody's awake now. So the
mm-hmm.
captains are probably going to like come through, right? So like you put all of them in there, like how is this going to be like a properly long fight? Because it feels like it's just starting. So like spending an entire like long batch of chapters on a fight doesn't make sense to me, like just
That's
like
true.
storytelling wise. But yeah.
Damn, I wonder if like, I wonder if then, because when I was thinking about what's gonna happen next, I didn't think about what the context of the volumes almost ending. Um, because I was almost thinking
Right.
that it would just be like kind of a back and forth for Asta and Lucius, and basically like it would get to the point
Mm-hmm.
where like maybe Asta has the upper hand, and then Lucius would like activate his Devil Union and just like rail him or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. And then almost like
Right.
all the captains getting involved too. But like you said, if the volume's ending in a few chapters, it doesn't feel like that would like naturally fit to have like an
Yeah.
Oster versus
Personally,
Lucius, and
yeah,
then
I'm just
yeah,
like like the reason why I mean, I'm so glad that the time skip happened, or like sorry, the hiatus happened, but at the same time, I was so like bitter about it because he went on a break in the middle of a volume, right?
yeah,
So like I feel like if that didn't happen, if he didn't take a break, he wouldn't have felt compelled to do the time skip, and we would have gotten a couple of chapters of like, like the fallout of the Spades arc, and then the final like 336 would have probably been what we got in 331, right?
yeah,
So yeah, I don't know. I'm just a little bitter about that, I guess. Because we could have gotten a lot more information. We could have gotten to see a lot more of the things that were happening, and then we could have started off a completely fresh volume with Lucius coming through and attacking everybody. Right? Then we could have, like, it
oh
could have
yeah,
been, it could have opened up a lot of possibilities.
that would have
Because
been yeah,
if that was the case, right, this would have been the second. this would have been the second chapter in that volume, and then the rest of the volume could just be Lucius' backstory and like
Yeah, exactly.
the Zograta's backstory. But yeah, no.
Hmm.
But anyway, moving on from like the abilities and stuff like that. Oh my god, this chapter was so good for like
Oh yeah.
character wise for Julie Lucius. Like so phenomenal. Like I'm so glad.
Yes.
Like you like it's insane how much he's elevated by the existence of Julius. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
If Lucius was anybody but Julius, he would be not great. He would
No.
honestly
Yeah.
not be great because he'd just be like a different, another. Oh, cool. Like yeah, some guy who wants to destroy the world. Okay, cool. Like who cares? Right? No, but this is somebody super connected to somebody that we've like really, really, really been involved with since the story began. Right? And then you have the dynamic with Julius because he knows Julius more than us. Right? He knows more about Julius than we do, which makes him instantly intriguing, right? Because like again, you bring in Noct, right? Noct is somebody who like we all know Yami so much, but Noct is someone who knows Yami a lot more than us. That makes him immediately intriguing, right? It's that sense of like, oh, I am a person who's actually been in this world, who's actually had history with this world and its characters for a lot longer than you know, right? If you say that and he's introduced to us like super new, that is like compelling times a million, right? So you to do that and like have that kind of god complex and to have that kind of relationship with Julius and to have been connected to the Triad, like yo, is just so good. Like yeah,
Yes.
phenomenal. Like so, what are your thoughts on um, the connection between Julius and Lucius? Because I mean, I was actually bamboozled because I thought Lucius Julius would not have known the existence of Lucius, but now he's like, "What do you mean by that,
Yeah.
Lucius?" Right? So like he knows Lucius. So like the possibilities, like who was Julius? What
Yeah.
is Julius? Like
That's
what
what
is he
I'm
about before the whole
really
Wizard King?
wondering what Julius is, because like the what was it, 331 makes it seem like he doesn't know entirely what's going on with him. Like he's like, oh, I got this weird feeling, but then like we clearly
Yeah,
see that they've interacted in the past with like the opening of this chapter, like the really cool visuals of like the
yeah.
white and black background and the hand gestures to
Hands,
speak. Yeah,
yo,
so like
so good.
clearly
Yeah,
Julius knows, but maybe I don't know. Whatever Lucius's true magic type, like his own innate magic type, is allows him to mess with that for some way. I don't know.
yeah. It's possible that he probably just like removed Julius's memories of him. Okay, this is how I see things happening. Okay, so basically, I think Lucius himself says that Julius was on a mission for our great cause, right? Our cause being like the rebirth of the world with like for the sake of true peace without sadness, hatred, but whatever, whatever. So his mission, I think, was to ensure, like, was to confirm. So I think, like, when the whole future thing happened, Lucius saw the future. He was like, "Oh my God, Julius, we have to do this." And then Julius probably disagreed with Lucius, right?
Yeah.
And then Lucius was like, okay, fine. I will let you go out into the world and understand humanity for yourself. And then whatever conclusion you come to, you'll realize that I'm right. And then he probably removed Julius's memories of Lucius and like everything that's connected to the Spade Kingdom, and then just let him go become a magic knight, right? And then he starts to like mingle with people and learn more about people. And then obviously the whole Zara thing happened, right? So then he probably ultimately came to the conclusion that, well, human beings are fucking trash, you know,
Exactly.
and that's probably connected to like, and then once Julius died, right? Like died for the sake of the humans. Lucius probably like popped out saying, "Yep, well, you've seen everything, and the future has not changed, right? So yeah, we're gonna keep going on, and bye bye, Julius."
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's what happened. Oh, on that note, like, do you think Julius is dead? Like, genuinely dead?
No, I don't think so. Like if this is
What do you
a,
think
like
happened with him?
I don't know, because like wasn't it? I don't know if it was blatantly stated that William was dead when like this like kind of similar thing happened, and with that like
William Patry said William is in a deep slumber
okay.
within me.
Well, maybe it's a little different.
That's
I
what.
still
Yeah.
don't think that like he's gonna be dead, but because I almost feel like at some point, like either if it's now or if it's a later fight, like Julius is gonna somehow have an important role of like I don't know. Like I almost like think that Julius or Lucius could like make his form look like Julius to like even further like get into Asta's emotions like while he's fighting him or something like that. But
Yeah.
I don't think he's
Oh,
gonna
that
be
would be
dead.
crazy.
Like
Yeah.
maybe
So
he thinks he's
personally,
dead,
I'll
or
tell you
he's
what I
just
think.
lying, or like he thinks he actually got the job done, but he didn't, or something like that. But I don't think that Julius is gonna be 100% dead.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. So I'm just going
Yeah,
through um the chapter 143 to see what
yeah.
Patri said.
Okay, I'll just read off. I did a
I think
poll. I'm
maybe
gonna
it's
read off the
one.
results while you do that. So I posted
Yeah,
who
yeah,
will
sure.
win the fight. 13% votes Asta. Not surprised. 48% is Lucius. And then 40% is Lucius gets the W, but he flees when the captains come.
Mm,
Which, I don't know, like,
interesting. So I voted for Lucius W. Flees when captains come.
yeah.
I think that is like a lot more likely. But yeah,
Which,
Hate
if
Humans, William
he
is different.
sees the
Yeah.
captains as any sort of a threat, that means they've also gotten way stronger. Because
Hmm.
they were nothing to True Devlin and Asta while amped by Valhalla in the
Yeah.
past. But,
Hmm. Damn, I don't know. Like he doesn't say it outright actually
what were
about
your thoughts?
William.
Or are you looking back for the William thing?
Uh, yeah, I wanted to know exactly what he said because I was thinking he did say something similar um, about like William is dead or like something very close to that instead of just saying he was like unconscious. But just to confirm, right? Because I mean, he is very confidently saying it, right? Like, because for
Mm-hmm.
like in TCB, like I mean, of course we made Lucius say, Julius is dead, right? It's the same exact words actually, but I don't know for some reason the way Viz phrased the rest of the dialogues in that scene makes me take Lucius a lot more serious than our dialogue Lucius.
Hmm.
So I think it's very possible that he is dead now, but I don't think it makes sense to have killed him off, right? So
Yeah.
maybe he's dead in some way, but not really dead dead. So
Yeah.
because again,
What if
like
he
think about
means
it, right?
like dead by
Julius
the
is a
fact that he's
very
never gonna
important
let him have
character.
the body back or something like that?
Exactly, exactly. So I think Julius is like, if you right, right. So what I was saying was like, if you think about it, Julius is a very important character. But just because Julius turned into Lucius does not make Julius. Oh yeah, he's just a part of Lucius. Like he is a very distinct, different
Mm-hmm.
person. Who's like a very important, who's been an important character. So and Tabata being Tabata, there's no way a character goes out off screen. A character that
Oh yeah.
important goes out off screen, right? Number one. Number two, Lucius says, I've also foreseen you trying to stop me, right?
Yeah.
He said those exact words. He said, I foresaw that you tried to stop me as well. Because at this point, like we don't know when they're talking. We don't know when Lucius and Julius are talking. I would assume it's in the past because Julius has a marking on his forehead as well, right? So personally, I think when Lucius touches Julius's forehead in this moment, I think he's erasing his memories of Lucius
Mm.
back in the day, so that he could
Mm.
become right. So
Yeah.
this is like, so that is a possibility there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Lucius is saying, "Oh, I foresaw that you tried to stop me as well." So one thing, it could be like in chapter 331 when he's like, "Oh my God, it is me, Damnatio Queen! Quickly do something before I," and then he gets stopped. So is Lucius referring to that as trying to stop me? I don't think so,
Mm.
because like that
Yeah.
wasn't really trying to stop Lucius. So yeah, I think there's gonna be, you remember how like Licht versus Lumiere went when like Licht was a big demon,
Yeah.
so where like he gained his consciousness for a second and he was like, "Kill me, Lumiere, man, amazing moment." I just like chills just thinking about it. Anyway, I think we're gonna get a very very similar moment to that, but since Lucius already foresaw that, I think is gonna be like, "Oh, you really tried that, didn't you?" And then that's when Julius gets slammed proper, and we actually get to see it. So yeah, that's what I think is gonna happen with that.
Very interesting. One of the things this whole like Julius thing makes me think of is that I'm like 99% sure that Julius was referred to as a noble. And if so,
He was, yeah. I mean, okay.
how is he a noble in the
I
Clover Kingdom
think
if he's like with Lucius, who's in the Spade?
I think in the Clover Kingdom, the way things work is, how do you put it? Like the the nobles and royals have family names.
Mm.
I think all nobles have family names, and I just think that the rest of them don't. Because, oh, I guess commoners do too, because Luck Voltia.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Which
I don't
Luck
know.
might be
Right?
half
Because,
noble.
wait, actually, let's actually see what he's. Yeah.
What are you
Yeah,
trying to
because,
figure
like,
out if
okay, so, like,
Julius is a
if you
noble?
go back to 145, yeah, I'm trying to figure out if they actually said that. But the
I
thing is,
might,
like, I
yeah.
don't think it's ever directly stated.
I'm just
Is
gonna look up at the wiki and
it's
see if they
implied, right?
have
Because in his yes, do that. Yeah.
Noble's gotten or not Noble. The
The
wiki's gotten really good at
okay,
having like information like that on character profiles with like
citations. Yeah,
yeah with
yeah, that too.
citations
Yeah, yeah,
too. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, it says on the thing he's listed to Clover. It's in the guidebook. At least one of
Oh
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that he's a noble.
Yeah. It says
Oh
Julius.
okay,
Well,
then that's it. Then.
it says and Julius later moves to the Clover Kingdom and integrates into a noble family, and it says page 50 of the guidebook.
Oh,
But
what?
yeah,
No
but I
way.
wonder if they're just like taking liberty of the recent developments of the story to say that. I do like,
Yeah,
but I'm
because
I'm
like if it's just
fairly certain
interpretation,
that Julius has there's statements for him being a noble uh
I mean,
in the
Chad, if you guys
manga.
could help us out, like,
Because
yeah, if you
I
guys
don't
could
know,
help us
maybe if
out,
it's an
because like,
anime thing, but I remember I thought it was like the king was like pissed off about Julius, and he's like, "Oh, you dumb noble," and but he likes like
yeah,
Fuegolein and Nozel because they're royals. I don't know
yeah.
why like I have that in my head, but
Okay, I mean, we can do this. We can go back to the fucking Star Festival, dude. We can figure it
yeah.
out. I mean, yeah. You can talk about something else while I figure this out.
Okay, yeah. Um, let's read the chat a little bit. Guidebook for the win. Oh, yeah, it's funny is the guidebook is my stand for my microphone right now. So
Oh, nice. Oh,
yeah,
can you look? Oh, is it like not translated?
I have the German one, so it's actually pretty easy to translate with Google Translate. Oh, I have both, but the German I use just to like get easy things from.
Hmm.
Hmm. I wonder if the
Because it is very interesting. We can like
I
figure
wonder if the
out like very
format is
interesting
different
things.
because his page is 48 and 49, but the wiki says the statement's on page 50. So maybe the Japanese is slightly
Mm,
formatted differently.
different, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do Google Translate real quick. I don't know which
Mm.
part it's in. But yeah, like, I remember like being stated in either the manga or the anime that he's a noble.
Right. I'm on chapter 107 where we get Kira's introduction, Augustus's introduction, where he does think back to Julius, that little hogging all the popularity, right? Um, wait, I don't like it one bit. On top, wait, yeah. On top of that, they sidelined the brigade's captain royals. Yeah, I don't think he
Hmm.
says. Yeah, I don't think he actually says it outright that he's noble.
Okay. Hmm. I almost
Interesting.
maybe it's like an anime only thing, like a additional.
Possible, maybe, but yeah. Okay. Anyway, let's go back to actually talking about topics instead of looking at stuff. You can do that though. Let me read chat in the meantime. So, Lucius is summoned, not appeared. I'm not sure what that is in reference to. Guess he could be adopted into the family who respected his strength or something. I would agree, but then the family name is Nova Chrono, which literally means new time, obviously in reference to his time magic, meaning that family would have been using time magic, which obviously is not the case because time magic is related to Astaroth. So I don't know. I don't know. Anyway,
Hmm.
I feel like you found a plot hole. I have a memory of him stating that he's only a noble. Yeah, I mean, if it's an anime thing, then it's not a plot hole because
Yeah.
anime is not 100% following what's about it tells him. But yeah, could have used his mind magic to insert himself into a family. Again, the name is Nova Chrono. So yeah, Shelly English says, "Hey Broku, do you have time to check out my Astaroth theory that ties in with Hungry Joker that I tweeted at you?" Broku, I'm not sure if you know what they're talking about.
I
Maybe you
don't.
can
I don't think I've
take a
looked
look
through
later
it
on.
yet.
Yeah, cool. I wonder how Astaroth, what Astaroth is gonna look like. Um, Okay, I think he's gonna look suspiciously similar to Liba. That's all I'll say about that for now. Michael says the ability to enter and leave the underworld at will isn't an insignificant thing, though. That's pretty intense. Absolutely, which is why one of the possibilities is that he's working with either Beelzebub or, since he has gravity magic and time magic, maybe they combine somehow to be able for him to like manipulate space in a limited capacity as well. Or like one of the other things that I was thinking of was that like the rays of the sun like represent each time that he's able to teleport into the underworld. I mean, obviously that's crazy, but I'm just saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine how, imagine Asta had. Obviously, that's not the case now because like came back, right? So yeah. Imagine Asta had abnormal physical strength like Toji Zane with the Devil Power. Devil Power. I mean, he has abnormal physical strength without anything. So yeah. Is Broku reading the chat? I mean, I am for
I'm
now.
reading
He'll
off
come
and
back
on.
in a
Right
second. He'll
now,
read it.
like, dude, I
I
don't
don't
know if
know.
this
He is.
is Mandela effect, but like, I swear to God, that was stated like that he's a noble. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
why.
It's. I mean, I was with you too. I was with you too. Yeah, I was
Like,
with you too.
I
Let's
even
see
like
though.
looked
Let's
up
see.
like
Um.
I found a Reddit question that said that like one of the comments somebody says that he does say that
Oh yeah.
talking to Zora, but I just read one of the times where he's
Hmm.
talking to Zora and it doesn't say that he's a noble, but
This is right after the Magic
I think
Knights exam.
so. But he also talks to Zora like
Okay.
before the exams actually start when he like interrupts it. So I didn't read that one yet.
No, but like that there I mean he obviously would not be bringing up nobles and non-nobles at the
No,
point. So
yeah.
I would say like look at the end of the Royal Knights arc, but yeah. Dino RD says OnlyFans. I have no idea what that's about, but okay. Michael says, what could have allowed Lucius to enter and exit the underworld at will? Pretty interesting. Yeah, I guess connection to Beelzebub. Maybe Beelzebub wanted Lucifer out. Yeah, possible. What is Lucius's own magic? Mind, soul, something like that. DNA, Jack said. Yeah. Julius invented his own surname, no doubt, absolutely. Play theorist Noel says, I wonder what suspicion we have on Julius. Well, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Reed Watson says he probably is just given noble status because of his strong magical power. I
Yeah. I
mean,
mean, he could
I
very
guess that's a
easily
possibility.
get into
Maybe,
a noble family just by like having time magic and his high magic power
dude,
if he's adopted or whatever into a
yo,
noble
think
family.
about it. No, no, just think about it. People just assumed he's noble. What if
Hmm.
people just assumed he's noble? Because
That
obviously
could
he's not a
be.
royal. Because like he's not from the. Yeah, people like they saw his crazy magic. They saw him like be super charismatic, right? And then they're just like, and if they asked him where he's from, he'll just say, yeah, I'm from the castle." And they sorry from the capital, and they probably just assume that he's noble.
Yeah,
So
that's
like
probably true,
it could
honestly.
just be that,
Yeah, because
honestly.
if they see
Yeah,
somebody
like that's
with
the
his magic
simplest answer.
power and his like magic type, they're just gonna automatically assume that. You're right. Like they're like there's
Yeah, and
no
his like
way that you're a
charisma and everything,
commoner.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yeah. Soul Magic. Yeah. I had tweeted it to Jack about it. It says Shelly Ingley. Okay. Um, now that we can reread the lines of Julius. Oh yeah, like the reread is gonna hit for
Oh yeah.
Julius, dude. Like I was reading chapter, I think it was 15 or 25. I'm not sure. So good. Like such an interesting introduction for Julius, I would say,
Yeah, I
because
think
like
you
he
were
does enter
saying
in like a villain
to read chapter 35 on Twitter the
on
other day.
Twitter.
Yeah, yeah, and I was
35, yes, not 15 on
I
Twitter.
was
Yeah, yeah.
reading just like the scans you're posting. Yeah, it hits way different now, knowing what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
yeah, yeah. It's so interesting.
I
Yeah.
didn't finish going
Uh,
through and seeing the guidebook yet to see
I
if there's
would
still
not
new
say that
story.
Liba is the son of Astaroth. I would say he is Astaroth himself. But yeah.
I still
Maybe
think
Marx
that
is an
Liba
accomplice who used
is
memory.
the other son of Lichtenstein. Yeah.
That is also a very good possibility. Personally, the reason why I would say that that's not the case. I mean, personally, I wouldn't say that's not the case because I have nothing to like go against that. right? But like what I would say is in favor of Aliba being Astaroth. Like this was like a big theory video I wanted to make, but then I just realized that I'm not going to be able to do that any longer. Like I'm just going to be able to do live streams and like discussion videos. But anyway, the theory was that Astaroth's time magic itself was stolen by Lucius, so that left him magicless, and that and probably like put him like on Earth, like on the overworld, because he did disappear, right? And again, the number two thing like took away his magic, so he's like a magicless devil just roaming around in the overworld, and he probably found Lucida, and Lucida again, like when we meet Libra, she is like, oh, doesn't just because you're a devil doesn't mean you're a bad guy. Meaning she's probably had prior experiences with devils, namely Astaroth, and probably like had Asta with him, which is probably why he like again like it goes with the hybrid thing as well. But at the same time, because he was conceived without a parent having magic, it would continue like it would still make sense for him to have no magic. But yeah. And he probably died and was reincarnated because I think all devils, unless killed, they reincarnate. And we know that Liba looks like a supreme devil, humanoid with wings, right? And we don't know if he has a name, his own name, right? Liba's name was given to him by Lucida. Like, what is his actual name? What if that is just Astaroth? Or like Roth, because his Asta's name comes from Astaroth, and they're like, oh, like I'm reborn, I'm actually Roth, and combined we are our father's equal, Astaroth, in Teleunion. But yeah.
So I found the reason why the wiki says that he's a noble from the guidebook.
Yeah.
It says that Julius was born in the noble realm. In the guidebook.
Oh, okay.
Which,
okay.
I mean,
cool. So then I think it's a combination of both of our like explanations, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What if they were just like, oh, where are you from? And he's like, oh, I'm from the noble realm. Oh, okay, so you're a noble then. So like,
Yeah.
it was just probably just assumed. They probably just didn't look deeper into it. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Um,
it makes perfect sense. Nobody's gonna question that.
right. Yeah. Oh, one more thing that I've seen people talk about, and somebody brought up in chat as well, is when he said we bound Astaroth to ourselves. But by ourselves, does he mean Julius and Lucius, or does he mean the Zagradis family as a whole?
I've seen a lot
I
of people
personally
talking
think
about that.
he's just talking about Lucius Julius.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Personally think, yeah, when he says us, it's just like he's talking about himself and the other soul within him. Like, but yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I don't know. Maybe it could be all the Zagrat. I know people were saying that because they brought up the bio pages and showed that the Triad didn't have ages, but I still think that's just gonna be chalked up to that Lucius just did time
travel.
manipulation. Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
and that theory is like all but confirmed with like that the true leader has time magic, and then you have like the Dark Disciples should be like they would have been 8 years old when they attacked the Spade King or revolted against the Spade King. Yeah. Like that theory is pretty much all but confirmed at this point. So I think it's way more likely that rather than them actually having time powers or something like that.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, definitely. I like you said, it's all but confirmed. We just need Tabata to like show us a couple panels of Lucius sending them back in time. Like that's all we need.
Yeah.
Or like forward in time. Because if you think about it, right, like Lucius says we bound a supreme devil, Astaroth of time magic, to ourselves. If like, and we also know that Astaroth disappeared 20 years ago. So is this supposed to be coinciding? Like, and like, did they go back in time or something? Because like we know that Xenon came from a time when the Spade Kingdom was in constant war and rebellions, right?
Yeah.
But we also know that when Yuna was born, or like just before that, that entire time, the Spade Kingdom was peaceful.
Yeah,
Again, two contradictory, lines of thought. Yeah. If like both of them were like at the same time, if the Dark Triad's ages are supposed to be what they appear to be, and number two, what contradicts things is that Astaroth disappeared 20 years ago, which would be perfect time for like Astaroth to meet and fall in love with Lucida and make Asta, right, 17 years old, like 17 years ago, like 3 years, just like fooling around, I guess.
Yeah.
But if we are to assume that Astaroth disappeared when he was bound to Lucius and Julius, then it obviously was not 20 years ago, unless again, it's a lot of time fuckery, dude. Like
It
it's
is a
it's
lot.
just odd at this moment.
Like, I mean, I
Yeah.
also have like the theory that when Asta was born, that was like before Lake died. I don't know if you ever watched that one, but
Oh, interesting.
because like it is basically taking a
I
lot
do
from the
I don't
anime.
remember that. Yeah.
Because when the anime shows Lasita drop
Hmm.
Asta of the church, Demon Licht is not there. Like the skeleton's not there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
I mean,
you get to see the
did they
same
just like
shot,
I mean,
and like Licht isn't there. I can't remember all of it, but it's also
mm,
like the fact that um Sekra said that she was asleep for a few years and then she like overwatched the Grimoire for 500
yeah.
years. Like that's also a weird thing, but I can't remember the other stuff. It
But
was
yeah, I
something
just
like the church was like the church looks nice when Lasita drops him off,
mm,
and the tree next to it is
interesting.
full of like life, and then when it's gone, the tree's dead, and then the church is like looks like crap. But it is anime stuff, so it's all like
Doesn't
less.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't make sense though. Like, cause like, why would Lucius or like Astaroth come there and be like, "Oh, okay, cool. Let me just transport you 500 years into the future." Like, what
Yeah.
exactly is gonna change?
See, like
I don't know.
my theory is that he was sent 500 years in the future, so that because like I believe that Osteroth is likely subservient to Lucius, and he knew that this was going to happen, and so he sent Asta forward in
Mm,
time to basically save himself, because he knew that Asta would defeat
interesting.
Lucius,
No, but would he know that though? Because anti-magic was just okay. Maybe you're saying he saw the future with Asta
something like that.
doing that. But then again, you can't see Asta's future, right? Because magicless.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on how, because like maybe Osteroth can see the time better because it'd be because like they see the time in the future by sensing the how mana flows in the future.
Yeah,
And if people who are really good at mana sensing can use that to still sense Asta, like Luck, he just senses how magic gets destroyed and he can use that to sense. So maybe it's something like when Osteroth senses like the magic of the future getting destroyed, he can use that to help him predict the future or something like that. Like essentially like a
interesting,
way higher
interesting.
level of not
Right.
precognition, but like I don't know why I can't
Hmm.
think of the word.
Right. Precognition, I guess. Like future sight, maybe.
Yeah, if
One
you
Piece, a
like
little bit.
yeah,
But yeah.
but like
Yeah.
way in the future or
I
something
do
like
see
that.
some people saying they would hate it because like if Asta was sent to the future because it would be way too fairy tale ish, and
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. I think one of my biggest apprehensions is because of that. I don't know if you've seen fairy tale whatever,
Yeah, I like
but
fairy tale.
yeah, the same thing. Literally, the same thing happens. Right. Okay. The same thing happens to Natsu, right? Like he is END. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
dude. Back when I was a fairy tale fan, like, cause fairy tale was my first anime. Yeah, it
Oh
was my
really?
first anime. Like, not counting Pokemon and Dragon Ball. Yeah, cause like Pokemon and Dragon Ball, I probably saw on TV when I didn't even understand what anime was. Like Fairy Tail and Inuyasha were like the first like anime that I saw sat and watched. And so obviously I wanted to keep up with it. So like when the END Ethereon or like Ethereos Natsu Dragon Mule, I was losing my mind
Yeah.
when we saw that. I was yo,
I mean, I
I would
lost
go
my
crazy.
mind when I was
Um,
reading it. I got to that point too. I was like, "What?"
yeah. I think maybe leaks or something maybe at that time, but I don't know if the leaks were still happening. But again, this was like years ago. I don't
Oh
properly
yeah,
remember what happened, but yeah, yeah, I would agree. Like I want Black Clover to be a little more different. Like I
yeah,
want Asta to just be some kid who was born and like is fucking shit up. Like like instead of, oh yeah, I planned you so that you could be doing this. Again, like it would feel like very fairy tale-esque, and more importantly, it would feel way too much like Aizen, like, oh yes, you were born the perfect specimen so that I could think of what you could become. Like, I don't want that happening, basically. But yeah, which is why I loved Lucius's dialogue this chapter, where he was like, you are the flaw because I can't see what you are, right? That confirmed things that he's not behind everything. Oh my God, you were born because Lucius. Like now that got confirmed, I was so happy because again, I want Asta to be the anomaly, right? I want Asta to be like the flaw that Lucius is talking about, because that's like, breaking the status quo. You're not meant to do anything. You are not fated to do anything. You're just doing it because that's who you are. That's a lot more powerful for me, character wise, than him being like destined for X. Because I think that is gonna fall upon and I think he's gonna fulfill that. But I think in fulfilling that is gonna cause some calamity. But because Asta is not destined for anything, he can solve all that shit. But just because he is who he is. So
yeah. I mean, so wasn't it? I can't, because I'm a little like fuzzy on Fairy Tail because it's been like over 2 years since I read it. But wasn't it like all the Dragon Slayers were sent forward in time? I can't remember.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's been 6 years or something. Like I read it when the chapter for it came out, so like it's been a while for me. So yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think like all the Dragon Slayers were sent forward. Yeah.
So like
I know for a fact that all the Dragons Slayers were like had the soul of the dragons within themselves. But yeah, that's all I know.
Yeah, because like I like agree where I would prefer he wasn't sent forward in time. But I just think it's like a decent possibility. Like, yeah, I think it would be better narratively. Like especially like I know that we've talked about a lot, like the devil hybrid thing. Like, when I would make those theories, a lot of people like hated me. I'm like, I don't even want this to be true either. I just think it's a possibility.
Right. I mean, I didn't hate you because that's crazy,
know, yeah.
but I did hate the theory.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
And like, I still hope
No,
that
but like
Asta
as time went on,
isn't like the son of a super important devil.
Astaroth.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the way you explained it when we had the Discord call the other day would be better than like the typical son of Astaroth theory, but
Yeah.
I would
Take
like if
away
he was
his
just
magic,
like if he
he's
was a
just
devil
normal human.
hybrid, if his father was just some like fucking like low ass, like his father was a devil hybrid too, who was like just the son of like some pointless like low ranked devil or something like that. But I don't think it's gonna be like that. I don't know, especially with the whole naming like Astaroth, Asta.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, exactly.
it's still like him. Like it doesn't even change that much because like he's still an underdog. He doesn't have magic. He's been discriminated his entire life. But
yeah. What if he was the son of the only benevolent devil, right? That would also make him very different, Yeah, I think that would be very cool. But yeah. All right, dude. I think I gotta head out.
Okay.
Because it's pretty late for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like
Thanks for
super
coming
fun.
on.
Super
It was
fun.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, had a lot of fun. We should definitely like I can't wait for like things to get to like a more substantial like part in the arc so that we can actually start discussing the rewrite, right?
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, right now, like a lot of it is dependent, right? Like, oh, like we could touch on a lot of things, but then like, what if that would contradict what happens, So yeah, I want to like get to a place where like nothing is gonna retroactively change things in the story, so that we can like properly get in on it. Because
exactly.
I was asking a friend who's like a big fan about like the things that he would like add or change for I was like, yeah, there's some super interesting ideas, I got from him. So yeah, there's like a lot of stuff, we can even ask people because like,
that'd be a good idea to
people
go
hate
ask, like,
right? Like if we understand why,
and see what they think should be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like they do have some really good ideas a lot of times.
Okay.
Unless it's just like, oh, kill this guy. Like in that case, let's calm down. Yeah.
Kill you, in the first arc.
Cool. All right. Yeah.
Alrighty, man. Have a good
Killing
one.
that would be crazy. Yeah. Yeah, you too, man. All right, see you, chat. Talk to you guys later.
Yeah, and everybody in the chat, like I'm still gonna be here to talk, but Buzzard is his channel is the top link in the description if you can go check him out and subscribe. He makes a lot of good videos on Black Clover, even some other series. Like he did a really good review on Claymore, and I started watching his review on Kaiju, and it was good so far. But then I didn't get to finish it. But yeah, so you guys want to check him out, but he's the top link in the description. But I'm also gonna stay here a bit longer and talk to y'all. I'm actually gonna go grab a drink real quick. I'll be back in like 30 seconds. Alrighty. I am back. Entering discussion. Yeah. I guess it's a good time to plug the Discord right now, too, guys. So, I'll drop a link. Actually, Noel, can you... Are you a mod? I gotta make you a mod. I don't know why you're not a mod yet. That's my bad. Can you add a link to the Discord in here? And get people over there? Broku, do I think that Yami will die before he gets to clap Charlotte? Sadly, yeah. I don't... I just see Yami dying, like... We were talking in the stream, like... Yami becoming a devil. And... It could be along the lines of... He doesn't even necessarily have to be overtaken by Lucius-Lucius, but... If he has a devil heart right now, and he gets more forbidden magic into him, and he gets horns, and he gets... bull horns, and he becomes a literal, like, the Black Bull, and he has to fight the Black Bulls. That would be something that I think would be, like, a really crazy moment for him to actually die from, is Yami becomes a villain because he becomes a devil. And either, like, a devil is taking over his body, or it's just mind is corrupted, but from the forbidden magic, the Black Bulls have to kill Yami, who is the Black Bull. Isn't it possible that the Dark Triad are already there and fighting the captain so that Lucius and fight off? I mean... Honestly, the final message, that is entirely possible because it's been 15 months. Lucius has gotten likely way stronger, way more powerful with stuff like that. And that would make sense if, like, the captains show up to just come fight Lucius and then the Dark Triad also show up. And these are way stronger Dark Triad, but it's possible, especially with basically the official translation saying that Lucius wants to use... use his siblings like they're still alive, or he'll bring them back or something like that. I mean, we have to remember that it was stated that people can die now and then be brought back later according to Lucius's plan. So that's a very possible scenario that even though we know for a fact Zenon died and Vanica and Dante might have died, we don't know for sure, but it's likely, then he could have brought him back. Yeah, I honestly, I thought you were already a mod, Noel. I don't know why, like, I think it's just because I had you know, you're high up in the Discord, so I just assumed you were on here, but yeah, need more mods, so definitely. I'm gonna go find that chapter and show to you guys where Lucius says that, people can die now or whatever. I don't know where it is, though. I'll have to find it, but I'll keep talking to you now. Wouldn't it be better to steal their powers instead? I mean, probably, honestly, because if he has the power, he can put more mana into it than they can. Well, we don't necessarily know how exactly that could work, because he wouldn't have a blood magic or a body magic grimoire. So maybe he wouldn't be able to use them as well. Okay. I know this was stated somewhere. I believe that you and Jack could almost be right on a Black Clover, that it could be a prequel or sequel. I believe it could be connected to time travel. Yeah, actually, I will read your theory in a bit. Yeah. Oh, if Yami dies, you'd love to see Charlotte die protecting and fighting him. Ooh, that'd be nuts. Okay, I'm gonna go back to finding this word in the chapter. I mean, it wasn't in this chapter, but it was in... I think it was in the middle of the fight. Oh yeah, okay, I found it. Okay, I'll pop it up on the stream. So this is very definitive evidence that the Triad can come back. So this is a flashback as Zenon is fighting. He says, this is Lucius talking right here. The weak die easily. It's impossible to protect them all. In that case, we'll destroy them temporarily. Then we'll regenerate them, this time with undying bodies. So right there, that is definitive evidence that the Triad can come back. And they would likely be the first candidates to come back because they are Lucius's siblings. He's on his Zenon. He'll ask Zenon to give him his brother. Yeah. Asta and Yanni connecting to Julius is... And yeah, it really is interesting storytelling. You're right, Noel. But yeah, guys, like, this chapter is nuts. Like, especially for power scaling. Like, because the issue with, like... So, like, we knew that Lucifero at 100% power could destroy the world, which at the least would be destroying the Black Clover planet. The issue with, like, scaling True Devil Union Asta or 50% Lucifero to that is a lot of people think that the devil percentages are exponential, which means that 100% Lucifero would be more than twice as strong, which means you couldn't actually scale from that. But now that we know that Lucius has absorbed all of Lucifero's power and is way stronger than him now, this means that Lucius is planet level, at the very least. And Asta is... Excuse me. So Asta, I'll bring up the scan. Actually, I'll just show you guys for why I think that Asta and Lucius is planet level right now. And then maybe I'll convince you. Alright. So yeah, this is my planet level Black Clover argument. That, and this is not also just, planet level Asta, but showing that he's way stronger from the last 15 months, like in just inverse scaling. So let me show you. So we have this statement right here that says, if the final devil Lucifero emerges, the world is finished. So he could destroy the world. There's that statement right there. And I'll go find the other one real quick. I believe that was 314. Okay, yeah. So this one, Lucifero is in his like weird larva state, and it says it's the devil that possessed Dante, the ultimate devil, not good. If this goes on, the world will, and then it ends. Like it doesn't finish the sentence, and we can actually just say that the world will end. So that right there is just the evidence that 100% power Lucifero is actually planet level at the very least. It could be universal because world can mean universe in Japanese, and so even in English it can mean universe, but at a low ball it just means planet. And let me find the other chapters. That would be like one of the most recent ones. Yeah, it'd just be right here. We have Lucius bodying 50% Lucifero because he lost half his power. And then we have him right here eating Lucifero's power, or eating his heart, which gives him his power, which is confirmed in the next chapter. I'll bring that up. As he says, I've absorbed Lucifero. That means he has his powers. Asta can sense his key. And it says, like, that's how he can make his power. Like, his spell's so big because he has Lucifero's power. So yeah, planet level Lucius, and Asta in his black form, just his black form. Now this is a way stronger black form, but it would be weaker than Devil Union. Forces Lucius to dip away from him, and this is negating the effect of the time spell around him, which means his potency is above that level of time spell, which gives him already some scaling to Lucius. And then we have Asta just straight up negating the spell and his semi-Devil Union. So yeah, Asta is planet level right now. Like, at the very least, it's nuts. Like, I know I did a video talking about how he was planet level, or large planet level, from my scaling, but this is a lot more of a simpler argument that doesn't use any sort of multipliers or calculations or anything. And the crazy thing with this, like for inverse scaling, is that Asta couldn't even like fully defeat Lucifero with True Devil Union. Because remember, in the end, he needed Yami, and Nox help to actually finish him off. Yet Asta in a black form, which is lesser than Union, is negating the time hacks, the time spell around him, and then in a semi-Devil Union is negating Lucius's spells, and Lucius is stronger than 100% Lucifero. So essentially, Asta, at the very least, in a state that is less than Devil Union, has surpassed more than 2 times his true Devil Union, and then you could go even higher, and like his black form, his new black form, is even like relative to that as well. So it's insane. So yeah, planet level Black Clover, planet level Asta, and planet level Lucius. And we have to remember here is that Lucius very well might have a Devil Union, because I believe that he's contracted with Osteroth, and it's a similar relationship to Noct and his devils, where he's over them. I think it's going to be something like that. So he'll be able to use a Devil Union, not like 100% power, Devil Union, and then he'll be even like way drastically stronger than that. Let's see how Lucius uses gravity magic. Very disappointed. Yeah, Lucifero's use of gravity magic was a huge fumble, in my opinion. Now, if it would be better if Tabata in the manga does confirm that devils can't use their magic very well because they don't have grimoires, but that would be kind of negated by the fact of Zagred with his word magic, because he didn't have the grimoire for a while, and yet he could do pretty cool stuff with his magic. Need Lucius spamming Singularity, yeah. Everybody always talks about power, but less about skill or that magic type. Some magic types are better against the other types. That's not true, David. Like, a lot of people talk about skill and magic types, but the issue is that when you have things that are way stronger, like skill and magic types play an important role in Black Clover, but only when the powers are relative to each other. And this is shown over and over again. Like, Magna's fire is an elemental advantage over Heath's ice, and he couldn't do shit to Heath because Heath was just that much stronger. And technically, Asta has the advantage over every single character in the verse. So, and oftentimes he has multiple advantages, because he'll have the anti-magic, which is an automatic advantage. He has key sensing, which is an advantage because most people don't have it, and he has higher physical strength as well than they do. Yet he still not only can struggle or lose, but even get his ass kicked. So, like, I agree that, like, I agree with you and I disagree with you. Because a lot of people do talk about skill and magic types, but only when the actual power levels are close. Because if they're not close, it doesn't matter. I'm scrolling down below the chat, and it's like recommended videos, and it shows my old How Strong is the Wizard King Julius Novachrono video. I almost want to do a new video. Like, I've been thinking for the last couple weeks, even before Black Clover Return, of doing that. Because of all the added information we have of what with Lucius, and the statement from the manga, and all the light novels, you can actually get Julius to be pretty strong. Wait, what? Magic type is power. 2 guys fighting with an ability that defies the law of physics and magic physics. Can the undying bodies concept be applied to devils as well, such as Lucifero or even Zagred? I mean, maybe. They already kind of, in a sense, have undying bodies. They can't be killed unless if you are arcane or saint stage or ultimate magic and you destroy their heart. But so it might, like, that could be like part of the what's going to happen. We have to remember that Dante is nearly immortal just because he has body magic and pairs that with devil power. And Lucius plans on using Dante's body magic. But we also know that blood magic would likely have healing or regenerative properties, just based on like blood magic in the verse, and then also what blood does in real life. And also Zenon's bone magic just naturally regenerates, so he's likely combining all those magic types with his own magic type, which probably is related to the body or something like that, or human nature. And then using devil power on top of all that is probably what it is. Yeah, what's up, Red Cloak? If you guys like Black Clover videos, you guys should go check out Red Cloak. He made some good ones. If they're summoned, they won't die. They return to the underworld. Leopold should have ate Nama's heart. Oh god, that'd be dope. Iqbal Abayu, Broku, I'm curious, what's your thought? Gravity or time magic, which is better? Oh no, the train's going by. Hopefully that's not too loud for you guys. But for gravity or time magic, what do I think would be better? It depends. Because technically if you have the power of gravity, you can manipulate both space and time, or time-space, which is broken. And that's why that's very likely why that Lucius needed Asta to defeat Lucifero, because the gravity had the elemental advantage over time. But then again, if time it likely gives you an easier, like time magic lets you easier control time than gravity does. I'm sure that using gravity to manipulate time is more complex, because we actually don't see Lucifero do that. We see him manipulate space with his gravity, but we don't see him manipulate time. But it could be that he also is doing that. But I would say that inverse, that gravity is probably above time, but time might be overall the most useful. It just isn't as useful against gravity. So yeah, like gravity probably just is the elemental advantage over time in Black Clover. I'd probably still stick with time magic though. Oh yeah, Red Cloak, Beelzebub definitely is Lucius's next target. I agree. I think that it'll either be revealed that he already went to Beelzebub, because we know that Beelzebub is in the final gate where Lucifero is, and he already got Lucifero's heart 15 months ago, which means he was in the same exact gate as Beelzebub was. So he might already have it, and that'll just be revealed that he has that as well. But I almost hope not, because I want to see like Lucius just march into Beelzebub's realm and just get a dope-ass fight of Beelzebub versus Lucius. And of course Lucius is likely going to win and steal that heart, but I almost feel like Tabata might have Beelzebub ally with the good guys, just so he can save his own ass, but damn, that train is loud. Lucius's mark on his forehead changed a bit, so I think he didn't steal Lucifero's time. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he stole his time, but all we know is he stole his power. He stole his magic power, and he stole his magic type. Oh yeah, Lucifuchus is about to question what happened to Lucifero. Yeah, Lucifuchus is probably gonna be very important in this final part. Like, there's probably gonna be several devils that are important. I definitely think that Megicula, if she doesn't return in this arc, then I think that if Black Clover gets a sequel, she'll be the main villain of that. But I think that she'll probably come back. How do you think we're going to see Lucifero with his true form and power? Do you mean Lucius? Because Lucifero is gone. I don't think we're going to see Lucifero at all. Uric. Curliest cow. Do I think the crew will be going to the underworld? Yeah, I think they will. I think that it's very possible that Asta dies against Lucius, and then that's what happens. We get some people in the underworld. Ooh, maybe. Maybe he went to Beelzebub and got back Xenon's soul. Ooh, good thoughts, Trayvon. That's a very good idea. Ooh, yeah, Megicula being the queen of the underworld, Red Cloak. I'm sure that's her plan. She was lying to everybody. Because, like, in the fight against Noelle and everybody, she's like, oh, well, devils, they always stay in their own place and blah, blah, blah. But then, in reality, she usurped Osteroth when he left the underworld. So, she's lying. So, she's a plotter. I am Law. Do I think the cast will meet gods? They already have, technically, because the Dryad is considered a god. But I think they will meet more gods, at least some type of god, even if it's like a lesser deity or like a demigod. And then from David, is current Lucifero still stronger than Lucius? Well, current Lucifero is dead, so if you mean like is current Lucius stronger than Lucifero, the answer would be yes, because he would have all of Lucifero's power added on top of his own. Is Lucifero dead in the underworld? Doesn't he have 3 hearts? I don't know why he would have 3 hearts. I thought he just had 1. Maybe he had 2. Because I thought that he had 1 heart, and then he was only half manifested in the physical world. So that was half of his heart in the physical world, half of it in the underworld. I didn't think he actually had like multiple hearts. It was just split in 2 from the ritual. Yeah, I know, Red Cloak. Like, it's nuts. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't have a transformation, but I think it's likely he will. So, like, I think that it's going to be something crazy, like, Asta, like, they'll go back and forth, like, Asta's going to go, he's in a semi-union right now. He'll, like, cut Lucius. He'll increase his power, like, use Mana Zone or whatever. Then Asta's going to go, like, True Devil Union. And then Asta, like, goes all out just to, like, barely scratch Lucius. And then Lucius is like, okay, like, boom. And then he just goes Devil Union. And he's using, like, time and gravity and his own innate magic type. It's going to be nuts. And I wouldn't be surprised if all the captains get involved, too. Excuse me. What's my favorite form of Asta, Curlius Cow? Excuse me. I don't know. I really like the newest black form that was shown. But I want to see more of it before saying it's my favorite. And so right now my favorite would be the slasher variant of Devil Union. That's my favorite. It looks the most badass. And for people talking about angels being introduced in Black Clover, they already are, like, very slightly foreshadowed. But it would be a little weird for me if they added angels. Can Lucius's time magic affect anti-magic? If so, then why hasn't Lucius defeated Asta? And Sky, I'll answer yours. Sky, Asta's 18. But anyways, time magic can affect anti-magic. Like, people kind of assume that anti-magic is this, like, ultimate like, this ultimate negating thing, like, that it can negate everything. That isn't the case. It's clearly shown that it has limits in the series. Like, if anti-magic was, like, infinitely strong against magic, then Asta would have no-diff Lucifero in his regular Devil Union. He wouldn't have taken any damage from him at all, or anything like that. But Lucius, or Lucifero, just bodied Devil Union Asta. He needed True Devil Union. And you have the fact that Libe coded Asta in anti-magic, yet it still wasn't negating the gravity, which that just proves that anti-magic is like a potency. Like, you still need to be strong enough to negate stuff. Yeah. Like, time magic can work on anti-magic as long as it's stronger. Like, there's also the fact that a lot of people miss it, but Asta in his black form with Black Divider plunges his Black Divider into the Ancient Demon's giant magic spell, which is pure magic, and it doesn't even negate it. He has to transform to Union to do it. So it's like, it's very clearly shown that, while yes, anti-magic is a clear advantage over magic, if the magic's strong enough, it's not going to negate it, or like, Asta will need to be stronger. I am Law. Who do you think is the strongest opponent Asta could beat in Bleach? That's hard for me because I don't really know a decent power scale for Bleach at all. Like, I read it the one time, and I'm gonna read it again because I'm probably gonna end up making Bleach content because it's so good, and there's a lot of crossover between that and Black Clover because the fandoms just are kind of similar. A lot of them are like, they're fans of both, but Sky, he's supposed to be 19 right now. Why would he be 19 right now? He was 17 in the Spade Saga, and then 15 months passed, which means 18, it would be the likely age. Yeah, I know the fall anime season's it's gonna be so good. Chainsaw Man, Bleach, the other stuff that I don't care about as much. Depends. Yeah, that's the other thing. That's why it's really hard to scale other verses, because you can scale them very differently. Like, you can easily say right now that Asta is planet level because he's going against Lucius, who's clearly planet level. But you can get it way higher because you could be like, oh, well, Dorothy, she created stars in her glamour world, which means she's multi-solar system. Or you could even say that, oh, Dorothy, her glamour world is stated to be infinite. And because she created an infinite realm, she would have infinite power. So Asta's high universal, or stuff like that. So it definitely depends on how you scale it, but you can just pretty easily say that Asta's planet level right now. Oh, Mob Psycho as well? Damn. And MHA, okay. Well, I haven't watched the My Hero anime in a few seasons, but I'll have to watch Mob Psycho because I just recently started watching it with my girlfriend. I think we're halfway through season 2, but we haven't watched it in a couple months. We just got too busy. But no sleep season, you mean? I mean, I'm probably going to focus on watching Chainsaw Man, Bleach, and Mob Psycho. But definitely my top 2 is Chainsaw Man and Bleach. Insane Sanity, I don't think Lucius can freeze Asta in Double Union mode. Insane Sanity, I think that the version of Lucius we see right now cannot freeze Double Union Asta. But the version that we will see of Lucius at his full power will probably be able to do that. In the end, only feats speak the truth. That's not necessarily true, Lolger Popper. Feats are very important to scaling, but there is a lot more to scaling than just feats. Like, there's statements and just blatant power scaling. Like, you could have a character who the best thing they have done, like feat-wise, is destroy a building, but they've also fought in characters who can destroy universes. So, like, yeah, feats are very important, but they're not everything in scaling. Dino, I don't think Lucius can freeze time. He can. Like, the chapter confirmed that it was a time stop, and the light novel, where the narrator actually says that Julius stops time when he does this spell. So it is blatant time stop. It's not just like he slows down time, he stops time. From Krim, have I watched Seven Deadly Sins or Four Nights of the Apocalypse? So yeah, I've read all of Seven Deadly Sins. I own the entire manga. I even have the first few volumes of Four Nights. I'm currently rereading Seven Deadly Sins because I want to make a video on the series and get back into making content on it because I love that series. So yeah, I've read the first 30 chapters of Four Nights, and I've read. I'm in the middle of rereading Seven Deadly Sins reading it for the 4th time, so my 3rd reread. I'm only like at volume 7 though. Bob, am I gonna make more emotes? Yeah, I think I might have the ability to do it now because when I first started doing memberships, I only could do a few, but I'll have to double check and see if I can do more now because I'm getting more members. But yeah, I have some ideas for what emotes to do. They are an information says that Black Clover film animation will be better than the animation. The Black Clover movie is going to be the best like quality of animation we've ever seen. For Black Clover, it's going to be the best Black Clover animation we've ever seen. Megumi, if you were in the Clover universe, would I rather have Asta's or Yami's magic powers? I'd probably rather have Yami's. It just seems that the mana is just way easier to use than anti-magic. Less of a strain on the body. So after Asta defeated Lucifero, couldn't Lucius have defeated Asta? Or does Lucius have a cooldown on his abilities or have another use for Asta? I think I'm missing something. Now that actually is a very, very good point, David, that if Lucius sees Asta as the flaw in his plan because he needs to kill him because he has no magic, why didn't he just kill him after he defeated Lucifero? And that's a great point, and honestly, I think it's going to be answered. That's a huge, like, glaring plot issue that if it isn't answered, or at least implied why he didn't, then yeah, it's definitely weird. But, like, if you're talking about, like, why didn't he do it right away? Well, I think that right away, he wanted to go to the underworld and just finish off Lucifero as quick as possible. But why he didn't kill Asta in the 15 months leading up to this, it has to be a part of his plan. Because we have to remember he sees the future in a certain sense. So he likely saw a future where he went to go stop Asta immediately, and he failed. So maybe that's why. Maybe he's like, oh, well, if I wait 15 months. But then again, his future telling abilities are already nerfed because of Asta's existence. So that could also explain it. That he just can't see the full true scope of time around Asta. And this is just what the best thing could see was, is I need to wait 15 months. Maybe he has contingency plans that allows that only we're able to do now that it's been 15 months. Dynardy, I get what you're saying, but it technically it is time stop. Like time stop, you don't have to stop the flow of time of a whole world for it to be time stop. And he didn't just do it on somebody; he did it on an entire building that was full of many people, and it got birds in the sky. It is time stop. It's just not stopping the time of the world. I don't think Lucius can't read Asta's future. Remember when Julius said that Asta would die in 6 months? That turned to be false. Well, it wasn't stated that in 6 months. I don't think it was blatantly stated in 6 months. That also would be another plot hole with Tabata's timeline if he said 6 months, because the Heart King, the joint historical arc, which was when the Heart King fights, or the Heart Kingdom fights Vanica, Asta fights Dante, Yuno fights Zenon. That's 11 months after. So, and that the prediction was either Asta will die, the Clover Kingdom will be destroyed, or both. So, it didn't necessarily have to mean that Asta would die. You believe that Asta and Liebe could be reincarnations of Astaroth that was created to destroy Lucius's plan after he's witnessed the Hungry Joker's timeline that Lucius has created and inferred it. That'd be pretty cool. Hopefully we get some more Hungry Joker stuff. So what I believe is that... God, this is going to be a lot to talk about. Yeah, exactly, Reed. He's using time stop. It's just not stopping the entire world. So I believe that Asta was sent forward in time. I believe that he was born before Licht became a demon. And then I believe that Astaroth sensed his future, where he was essentially taken over by Lucius. So he sent Asta forward in time. And he kind of planned all of this. And I think that Astaroth is going to be the only devil that is good. Or one of the only devils. Cremoy, what do I think is the most underrated magic affinity in Black Clover? Let me think. It's hard to think, but I would say a pretty underrated magic type is honestly thread magic. Even if you remove the fate, it's still a pretty cool and pretty powerful magic. Even if you remove the red thread of fate, it's still pretty good. underrated might be dice magic. Dice magic's pretty good too, but if you're pretty much only if you're good at luck and if you have a strong magic type. You personally think there's a possibility that some devil. Yeah, I think that. I guess what I mean is like, Osteroth's gonna be the only cliff off devil that's gonna be good. I think there's probably a lot of lesser devils that are good too, just from the sheer terror of living in the underworld and being beaten up upon every single day. I'm gonna give you guys a little spoiler because somebody brought a Finral comment in the chat because I'm almost done with the Black Bulls ranked video. Finral is super broken, and you might not believe it or you might disagree with me until you see the video, but I got Finral at number 6 on the Black Bulls. Out of the 15, I have him at number 6 as the 6th strongest Black Bull. He's very broken. Yeah, I agree in saying that Sealing Magic is pretty underrated. Solar Monkey, what do you think about Asta's new sword? Like the slasher? I mean, I don't consider it a new sword anymore because he got it like 70 chapters ago, which is like almost 2 years ago. But if you're talking about like his newest sword, the Demon Slasher, I think it's cool. Hopefully he gets another one though. Fingal Gang Rise Up, yeah. Yeah, like this is a crazy chapter just for a lot of things. Just the power scaling that Asta and lesser versions of his black forms and Union are way above his True Devil Union in the past. Okay, yeah, well, let's do that. I'll read a couple of chats and we'll talk about So, Jace, there's still like 4 Supreme Devils we haven't seen yet. Yeah, they're gonna. I think they'll be revealed. They'll be important. I think that they'll be either, their powers will be given to like Dark Disciples or something like that. They'll be there. But Iqbal brings up a good point. Why don't we discuss his new star magic abilities and about his 4th weapon? So yeah, I'll have to Google what his 4th weapon will be. I can't remember the name now. Excuse me. Because like his weapons are based off the 4 Greek anemoi, which means like the different directions. We have what? We have Zephyr, we have Boreas, and we have Eurus, which means we would have, I think it's Notice next. And so what do we have? We have a sword, we have a halberd, we have a bow. Maybe the last one will be like a shield or something like that. A Windicus. So yeah, still has a lot to improve upon. Like he still has to get his 4th spirit weapon. He has to master the Saint form. He can still learn True Magic. He can still learn Ultimate Magic, and he can likely learn Ultimate Magic twice because he could learn it for Wind Magic. He could learn it for Star Magic. So he's got a lot going for him. So he has a lot of potential to get stronger. What else? Probably doing some sort of like combo, like a spirit dive with Star and Wind or something like that. I don't know. Hell is ruled by 7 devils. We know 3 of them for the story, the 3 main ones. I don't think that's how it's actually said, Shadow. I think it said that the final gate is the 3 devil kings, which is Osteroth, Beelzebub, and Lucifero. Technically, the other devils rule their own layer of hell or the underworld, but that there's 10 devils, not just 7, because there's 7 gates, but there's 10 devils in those 7 gates. And I saw Jack was in here. Notice is generally known for healing. Oh, okay. That'd be cool, but I know that a lot of Black Clover fans are not going to be happy with more healing in the series. The sword in the last image is Yami's sword. Yeah, that's Yami's sword. Well, it's Asta's now. It's been Asta's. Anti-magic scythe. That'd be cool. All right, I guess I just finished the pool or the poll, and the winner out of almost 400 votes is that Lucius wins but flees when the captains come. A close second was just Lucius straight up wins, and then not even close in last place is that Asta wins the fight. That's actually a cool idea, Toji. Gray changing the properties of Finral's magic to make his spatial magic offensive. I think that could definitely happen, yeah. Yeah, and Dom, see, that is kind of how it works. You have peasants, commoners are greater than peasants, nobles are greater than commoners, and royals are greater than nobles. I would add one more. I would add, like, aristocrats. Generally, I mean, the definitions are, like, kind of used a lot interchangeably between nobles and aristocrats, but aristocrats are more like, they're like lesser nobles. They're like rich commoners, I guess. They haven't established their family line as much in their house. But they're enough of a class that should be above commoners. And I do believe they use the word aristocrat in Black Clover, which would imply there is another class. But besides that, yeah, that's pretty much exactly how that goes. You have royals at the top, nobles below them, commoners below them, peasants below them. But I would put like aristocrats between nobles and commoners as well. Current Asta with Zagred's Trident, that'd be cool. It is a physical weapon, so he could likely use it. Alrighty, guys. Well, I've been streaming for 2 hours now. I didn't think I was going to stream this long, but it was fun. Well, I'm going to be ending the stream pretty much now. I will be streaming in a few days, probably Wednesday, to talk about chapter 334 predictions. But yeah, so I'll be streaming in a few days. I just want to end the stream because I still want to get that Black Bulls video done. It's not done yet, and I also want to get a video done for the Wizard Kings. I'll plug. I have members now, guys, and it's really gonna help the channel. And the more members I get, the more that I can turn this like YouTube thing into like just doing it full time, and I don't have to work my like normal job as being a personal trainer. I'd love to do that, but so if you want to become a member, the highest one is Wizard King. I'm gonna be posting at least 2 videos a month to the Wizard Kings where only they can watch it. So if you want exclusive videos and more videos per month, then you can become Wizard King. So yeah, and you also get a bunch of other perks and benefits for doing that as well. But the first video for Wizard King members only will be out very soon. It's pretty much done. I just need to go through and watch it and make sure there's nothing to change about it. But that video is gonna be, it'd be probably pretty controversial to a lot of you guys. But it'll be a fun one. But I'll drop the thumbnail in my community tab soon when it's done, and if you guys like the idea of that, then maybe you can become a Wizard King and you can watch it. But anyways, guys, thanks for coming in, y'all. Appreciate all the support, and have a good one. I'll see you.